Hi guys, my name is Chris and you're watching Wrestling Today, so let's start with The Rock's return to WWE at this past week's WWE Raw has seemingly given the show a huge boost in the ratings, with 1,751,000 viewers tuning in for the show. WrestleNomics has released viewership data for the Day 1 edition of Raw, with total viewership increasing by 151% compared to the previous week's Best of edition. The report highlighted that the show brought in the highest number of viewers for the Red brand since the November 27, 2023 episode of the show, which was the post-Survivor Series episode that saw the return of CM Punk to Raw. The first WWE show of 2024 also saw viewership rise in the key 18 to 49 demographic, with a 0.60 rating compared to 0.18 the previous week. The January 1st edition of Raw also saw a 33% increase in viewership compared to the previous 4 weeks, while the key demographic was up by 50% for the same metric. The Rock, making an unexpected comeback to WWE on the recent Raw, appears to have substantially elevated the ratings. The full segment of his return on WWE's YouTube page has amassed over 3.2 million views at the time of this writing. The main event, which was a match between Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, has also brought in big numbers for WWE, with a small portion of the match raking in 500,000 views on YouTube. The show kicked off with the long-awaited match between Becky Lynch and Jax, where the former was busted open and also lost the match. Rhea Ripley also defended her Women's World Championship against Ivy Nile and retained her title, despite her opponent putting on a brave fight. Awesome Truth, the tag team of R-Truth and The Miz, reunited after several years and defeated Judgment Day's Dominic Mysterio and JD McDonough. The next story is about Hulk Hogan. Fans will have the chance to buy some special merchandise of their favorite wrestler this month as the company is planning to celebrate the 40th anniversary of Hulkamania. Whether you like him or not, Hogan is one of the biggest names in the history of the wrestling business, helping WWE take flight as the leading wrestling promotion in the world for the last several decades under Vince McMahon. Hogan first held the WWE title in 1984 and last won it in 2002. In addition to all of his accolades in WWE, he also helped spark the Monday Night Wars, the hottest period in the history of the business between WCW and WWE when he formed the NWO with Kevin Nash and Scott Hall in the late 90s. Hogan began to slow down his in-ring schedule in 2003, when he would work sparingly and later had a run in TNA Wrestling. Hogan's last appearance on WWE television was a year ago for the 30th anniversary episode of Raw. WrestleVotes reports that although WWE has special plans in place to celebrate Hulkamania, Hogan is not expected to appear on television, although that could always change. Next we have former WWE star Rick Boogs was interviewed on Insight with Chris Van Vliet. Boogs talked about his WWE run, his release, and his future. Boogs is one of several names that recently became free agents. Rick Boogs on his WWE release. I'm great. Yeah, I'm better than ever right now. Where do we want to start? Let's talk about this. So basically, I started a YouTube channel. It's like, I'm just gonna lead the interview. If he wants to keep wrestling. No. When I first decided I was going to do wrestling, pursue it, I had to be all in on something. So I was doing strength and conditioning stuff, personal training. I was like, if I'm gonna commit to this other endeavor, I just quit my job. I have a wife and a daughter. I just got unemployed for the sake of getting hungry that I really wanted to make it happen, which my wife was not happy about. She was like, why did you have to quit? On knowing his release was coming. Well, dude, if you want to talk about my second run on the main roster. I kind of saw the writing on the wall, but it wasn't like, alright, well let me get ready for it. This is just, basically, thank God for my YouTube community and stuff because I always knew I had that. I have an awesome community. If he feels Vince McMahon played a part in his release. I guess, if you just look at it objectively, look at my NXT run, and then look at, when I was seen by Vince, and look at that run, and then when management or the whole regime changed again, look at that run. So a lot of people say, oh, but he was injured. I think I can say this, I was supposed to be brought back earlier, on camera, when I wasn't even cleared yet, a month or two after rehab and I was really planning on it. I was pumped. Oh, man, I can't really bend my knee yet. Let's get back up there, and that was just kibosh. if anybody had a grudge against him. I mean, grudge wasn't the right word. Well, I mean, at the end of the day, like in development I was told, you got an awesome personality and people like you. The crowd is really with you, but you gotta just keep getting better in the ring. That's basically what that regime, that's all I've ever heard. It's like, dude, this is scripted television. We can make this whatever. It's frustrating, but at the same time, I get where both sides are coming from. The next story is about The Rock made a surprise appearance on Monday's episode of WWE Raw to do a segment with Jinder Mahal after Mahal was revealed as the former WWE champion who was going to appear on the show. The two stars exchanged words before Mahal attacked him. The Rock laid out Mahal and hit some of his signature moves. Rock ended the segment by asking the fans in attendance whether he should sit at the bar, at a booth, or at the head of the table when going to dinner that night. This was a reference to undisputed WWE Universal Champion Roman Reigns. Although not confirmed, it's believed this was the tipping-off point for the long-talked-about match between them. The bout was discussed for WrestleMania 38 in 2022 before it was decided the following year at WrestleMania 39 in LA would be better. That match was pushed back because they couldn't agree on the right storyline. The Rock took to his Instagram account to comment on the segment by writing the following. It all hits differently. The theme, the crowd, the connection, the reaction, the electricity, the chills, the mana. Hell of a way to bring in 2024. Grateful, blessed and inspired to forever be the people's champ. WWE we're just getting started. The final story is about Money in the Bank is one of WWE's most important events of the year. Whoever holds those briefcases gets guaranteed title shots at whatever championship they have their eye on. Now, we know who will get to host that event next year. WWE has a lot of plans for 2024, and they are now starting to announce even more as we have broken into the new year. Triple H broke the internet for fans in Toronto with his recent announcement. Triple H logged onto X to announce that Toronto is getting the 2024 Money in the Bank event. That will also include SmackDown and NXT Heatwave coming to the city, thrilled to bring one of the most exciting events of the year to Canada. This is going to be epic. On July 5th, there is a SmackDown event scheduled in Toronto, followed by the Money in the Bank event on July 6th. The following day, on July 7th, there is an NXT Heatwave event planned. It seems like a packed schedule of wrestling events over these 3 days, with fans anticipating thrilling matchups and exciting moments across these shows. WWE has a lot of plans for the future, and Triple H can't wait to give fans every penny's worth of their money. This is also big news for Toronto fans, as they get to host the incredibly important Money in the Bank event. What's your take on WWE's location choice for Money in the Bank? Thanks guys for watching and please subscribe.